Hi, this is Tim with Topspin. I'm going to take some time to walk you through some recent inventory changes made to the platform for the purpose of keeping a more accurate and more atomic count of what is in stock and what a artist's obligations are regarding their inventory at any given time. There are four major things that we're going to be covering in the course of this brief discussion. We're going to talk about the inventory control changes themselves, the fulfiller access to the catalog products, which is a new level of permission that has been granted, changes to the API to support these inventory changes, and some known issues around this. First and foremost, the inventory changes. Prior to February 4th, we had two numbers to reflect the inventory quantity. There were quantity available, which was a number that loosely meant what was available to sell, and quantity sold, which was a measure of what existed or what had been shipped to consumers. Uh, we found through many, many months of trial and error that this was just imprecise, insufficient, and really did not get the job done in a way that answered all the questions that were out there and truly addressed all the business needs. So what we've found is that the right way to do this takes five main numbers. And I'm going to walk you through these five numbers. The first number is in stock, and this one is deceptively simple. It's the number actually on the shelf at any given moment. So if I have 110 CDs, my in-stock number is 110. You only count exactly what you have physically in hand. It is the count of what you have. It is not a projection of inventory that is coming in. It is not padded. It is literally nothing more than what you have on the shelf at any given moment. These other concerns we're going to address, but to have everything work right, in stock is always what you have on the shelf, nothing more, nothing less. Don't subtract anything. The next number is quantity sold and not shipped. Quantity sold and not shipped is a number that Topspin manages, and it is a running count of how many items have been purchased against the in stock but have not been shipped. This number and the other numbers we're going to go through sum to form a quantity sellable concept, but we'll cover that when it's time. Again, the quantity sold and not shipped is just the number that have been sold that basically there is a fan who has spoken for a piece of in-stock inventory. Reserve is a new concept for Topspin's inventory, and it's one that we heard from fulfillers and artist management alike that this was an important one for us to have. Reserve is the number of in-stock items that you actually are not keeping on sale because you're withholding them for customer service purposes. You have them on hand for, lost in the mail, damage, breakage, any sort of thing where you anticipate that you need to maintain some small buffer to be able to satisfy customers whose original purchase did not make it to them in time or in a condition that they expected. So to go back to our earlier example, if you had 110 CDs in stock and you wanted to hold back 10 of them just in case something got lost in the mail or there was just some sort of bad luck with customers, you would use the reserve to make sure that you had a little bit on hand uh, at all times to address the customer service need. The backorder cap is also a new number, and the backorder cap is answering the question of how many products can be sold without inventory on hand. So if you have an item that has a kind of a periodic availability, or you have kind of unexpected supply, or you have a supply chain that is not as smooth as you would like, and sometimes there are delays in getting things ahead of knowing that you're running low in stock. The backorder cap allows you to continue selling without being constrained to strictly what is on hand. The backorder cap is also what you would use in the case of a pre-order where you don't physically have the items, like they have not been manufactured yet, and you want to put them on sale. Finally, the last primary number in the system is one for historical measure, and it's quantity sold. And the quantity sold is the number of products that have been sold and fulfilled. The fulfiller has marked them as shipped. This is primarily for historical reference and is kind of your gauge to look at any given product. That product SKUs how many you have sold and shipped over the life of that product in the system. These numbers combine to give you a real-time understanding of the sellable quantity. The formula to get to the quantity sellable is very simple. It's your in stock, the number on the shelf at any given point, minus the reserve, how many am I holding out for customer service or for other purposes, minus the quantity sold and not shipped, how many are spoken for by people who have paid, plus the backorder cap. How many can I sell even if I don't have any inventory in hand? Adding those together, we know this is at any given time how many things I can sell. And this is what it looks like in the app as of the point of recording. You'll see that there is an in-stock quantity, a backorder cap, a reserve quantity, available, which is still the decision if you want to make a SKU available or not. So if I had, for instance, a black t-shirt that was for men and women, and it was available in sizes from extra small to double XL, but I wasn't selling a women's XL and double XL, and I wasn't selling a men's extra small, I would tick the available checkbox and turn them off so that fans never saw the option for those. And again, on the end here, you see quantity sold and shipped, which is the historic measure, and quantity sold and unshipped, which is the kind of at this moment how many are spoken for count. And one thing to note on these numbers, you'll see here that the view only allows you to change the reserve quantity. This inventory system has a role-based permission on these numbers so that you may be able to touch some or all of these numbers depending on your role. If you are an artist who is fulfilling for yourself, you're going to be able to touch all of these numbers. And so it's important for you to understand what these numbers mean. If you are an artist who is working with a fulfillment partner, as an artist, you're going to be able to change the reserve quantity, and you're going to be able to manage the availability of those SKUs in terms of are they offered for sale or not. But you will not be able to touch the in-stock quantity or the backorder cap. And finally, if you are the fulfiller, you'll be able to touch the backorder cap, which is how many are you going to allow to be sold without inventory on hand, and the in-stock quantity. And the reason the fulfiller controls this is because the fulfiller is the one who is best equipped to answer these questions. The fulfiller is the entity who knows at any given point is able to walk over to the shelf and count how many of a given shirt or CD that they have in stock. Thus, they are best equipped to answer this question. And it then becomes a real auditable fact-based measure of inventory count. And they manage backorder cap as a method of ensuring that there is a consistent and kind of informed ability to offer customer service throughout the life of the transaction. We've found that when a fulfiller is aware of an impending pre-order and they raise a backorder cap, or if there is an item with unpredictable availability in terms of getting it to the fulfiller, it's better for the fulfiller to know this and to know that you've basically sold against backorder, so that when a fan asks, "Where's my stuff?" they are able to say, these haven't arrived. These are, pending arrival to us. They're able to answer these questions and ensure that the fan is getting the best service possible at any given moment. The other thing that has changed with this is catalog access. And as a fulfiller, you have access to your artist's catalogs, and this is new as of this inventory release. As a fulfiller, you may view products, you may set weights and quantities from the app as well as the API. You can also set the factory SKU. What we see here is a quick snapshot of the fulfiller view of a catalog product, and you can see that you're able to touch the factory SKU. You can touch the weight in terms of how many pounds, how many ounces, or kilograms and grams does it weigh. You can touch the in-stock quantity and the back order cap, but you can't touch the reserve quantity, available, etc., because those are not yours to touch as the fulfiller. Those are managed by the artist in this case. If you have not pursued an API integration, if you have no plans to pursue an API integration, if you are just in the process of getting ready, this is the best way to do it in the interim, to be able to jump in and set quantities. If for any reason you have any challenges with your API, knowing that the app allows you to do this as a fulfiller, it's just another safety net on the entire process. Next, we're going to move on to API changes. The API documents are available online in our knowledge base, docs.topspin.net. The URL is here in this slideshow, and you can also reach it by clicking on the Dev Center tab at the top of the knowledge base and clicking on the Orders API option in the left rail. What all of this actually is affecting is the SKU modification API and not the Orders API directly. The documents are merged in the knowledge base, which is why you're referred to the Orders API here. The changes, if you've been using an existing API integration, first and foremost, quantity can now be set directly via the SKU update method, and you do not have to do the transactional method. So prior to this update to the SKU modification API, you had to do all of your changes to inventory on a transactional delta-based method. You had to say that I have 34 and I just counted 47 on the shelf, so I need to add 13. And it's just not as quick and efficient of a process, and doesn't allow for any sort of possibility to have kind of a batch synchronization method if you want to synchronize your counts against Topspin's. It just wasn't possible in a practical way. This way, you are now able to just batch post all of your quantities to Topspin, and the quantities will reflect what you have up to date, up to the moment. Because the availability is now managed by the artist and not the fulfiller, the available parameter has been removed from the SKU update method. And the SKU update method has a new parameter, which is backorder, which is your method to set the backorder cap. So not a lot of changes here. The biggest one in terms of workflow efficiency is the quantity set and obviously the new parameter. So finally, let's talk about a few known issues that have arisen at the time of this recording. We have seen in some cases that the weight calculation model is coming through incorrectly via the API, flat, weight, and mixed. We're aware of this, and we are working on a fix to this. It should be out very shortly. We're also investigating how to best handle the ship by date based on new feedback from our live accounts without kind of repeating past mistakes. We have a pretty good handle on how to do this, and we're likely going to be contacting fulfillers with suggestions here. And finally, one other point is that it is not a bug, and it's important to note as of this release that an account now may only have one fulfiller. Previously, Topspin allowed you to have multiple fulfillers per account. Now you are only able to have one fulfiller per account. And finally, one enhancement that is coming out as of this recording date, in the application on the product SKU table, you are actually going to be able to see the quantity sellable count, so that you don't have to do the math on the fly. You will actually just be able to look at the product, look at the quantity sellable column, and understand at that moment how many of a given SKU you're able to sell. If the number seems off to you or it seems low, you're then able to dig into, am I in a backorder situation? Did it sell through? Is the stock lower than expected? And you're able to do the next order of actions that you would need to take. So that wraps up the inventory update for Topspin, and we hope that this goes a long way to helping you understand the new changes that have been made. Thank you.